Before I even begin this review, let me start by saying that South Park, The Fractured But Whole, is one giant South Park episode. South Park has been my favorite TV show for literally my entire life, so that alone enticed me to pick up a copy. If you're a huge South Park fan, this game is a must-have, period. In this review, I'm not going to spoil any cutscenes because I want you to enjoy the game for yourself, but just know that this is a Matt Stone and Trey Parker production. They wrote it, they directed it, everything is behind them, which makes this game very authentic, and it's like you're watching a South Park episode. For this review, I'll be going over the gameplay. Ubisoft did a great job expanding from their first installment, The Stick of Truth. Very reminiscent to Paper Mario, this is turn-based combat, but before you enter combat, you can get a first attack on an enemy or vice versa. The main difference between the first game, The Stick of Truth, and the second game, The Fractured But Whole, is that turn-based combat is now proximity-based. This makes the combat a lot more in-depth because different characters have different abilities that will affect your range. In other words, certain attacks won't work if you're too far away. The Bruiser-type characters can only move one block at a time, but they can pack a lot of damage if they get to you, while the quicker characters can move more spaces while obviously sacrificing power. I personally started with the Blaster class. This class has infinite range, and although the defense is poor, I always had other characters in my way to absorb the damage, so I was always able to use that to my advantage. Since you can mix and match with 3 other South Park characters at once, it's not really like you can pick the wrong class. The only advice I can really give you is keep your team as well-rounded as possible. One cool aspect of this proximity-based combat is that if you attack an enemy that is sandwiched between one of your teammates, there's a ricochet that will give your enemy extra damage through a knockback. There's other useful stuff I can do in battle, like use Clyde's Gross ability to provide status damage to everyone who's one box within his proximity. This made the battle much easier because it hurt my enemies between turns. With one of Cartman's attacks, the Coon, you can trade places with an enemy, which worked really well with my character's laser beam because Cartman put 2 enemies in line for me and then I just had to snipe them, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Within battle, there are action sequences where you have to press buttons in time in order to inflict more damage, and also to defend yourself. This is another aspect reminiscent to our favorite Italian plumber on his Paper Adventure. This wouldn't be a South Park game without farting, so outside of battle, you have different farts that help you accomplish various tasks. One of your fart powers can literally stop time, which helps you pick up things that would otherwise run away from you. This power came in handy when I needed to retrieve cats for one of South Park's oldest characters, Big Gay Al. Cats are pretty fast creatures, so I needed to stop time and then retrieve the cat while time was stopped. Pretty easy, huh? Lesson learned, whenever you want to solve any kind of puzzles, just fart and you'll figure it out. I also used my time stopper to eliminate this electrical hazard that these damn 6th graders used. The artifacts section allows you to upgrade your character's abilities and shows your stats, like how far you can move per turn, how much health you have, etc. There's also a crafting option for artifacts, costumes, and consumables that Morgan Freeman of all people taught you. You can see that Ubisoft took this game very seriously, from at least the gameplay standpoint. Matt Stone and Trey Parker wanted to make sure that this game was not just another licensed game with the main intention of being a money grabber without legitimate content backing it up. The town of South Park is very big and there's so much stuff to do. There's tons of side quests and things to collect as well as a really fun main story. If you love the RPG genre or you just love South Park, then this game is a well done game and you should definitely pick it up. On the other hand, if you are easily offended and you don't like video games, then I would stay far, far away from this game. This is without question the greatest South Park game of all time. Although that doesn't really mean much considering all their games before The Stick of Truth were god-awful. Yes, I'm fully aware of Chef's Love Shack and the N64 game where you throw snowballs at turkeys, and I had a fun time back in the day when I played it because I was young and I saw Cartman and I thought it was funny, but I guarantee you if you played those today you would realize how shitty those games truly are. Let me know in the comments your favorite South Park episode and if you think the story elements of this game match the quality of the show. I sure think so.